clouds come bringing, the air feels thick. Weather's on the edge and got us feeling sick. Thunder's rolling like a freight train roar. Eyes to the sky, we want some more. Hurricanes coming, winds getting wild. Heavy rains pouring, streams turning foul. Storm chasers, we all face it head on. Grip the wheel tight, drive till the dawn. Breaking the clouds gives us time to breathe. Storms just a tease. Nature's dirty sleight of hand. Next round's coming, no chance to leave. Weather's calling. Storm clouds gather in the sky. Winds are rising, hear them cry. Hold your breath, the time is near. The hurricane we all must fear. Lightning flashes in the night. Nature's fury full of might. We prepare and stay aware. Reporting live will keep you there. Hurricane watch, we're standing strong in the eye all night long. Braving storms to keep you known. Together we're not alone. Crashing on the shore. Mother Nature's wild roar. We're on the scene by your side. With every gust we will abide. Stay informed and stay aware. We'll get through with love and care. Hurricanes wrath won't get us down. Reporting live from every town. Hurricane watch, we're standing strong in the eye all night long. Braving storms to keep you known. Together we're not alone. Crashing on the shore. Mother Nature's wild roar. Braving storms to keep you known. Together we're not alone.
Good evening, everyone. So we are here just tracking Hurricane Milton as it makes landfall near Sarasota, Florida. Um, as you may have seen, it's been quite a day for Florida. Several tornado warnings, several confirmed tornadoes. Um, and definitely some storm surge and flooding going on. Give me 1 second. Forgot to update some graphics here. Okay, there we go. Excuse me. So yeah, as you can see here, we have the eye of the hurricane approaching Sarasota, about where it was forecasted to. Let's go ahead and switch to the satellite view. It's a little messy, lots of clouds, very disorganized, so really can't see a whole lot there. And again, the visible satellite shows that as well. Let's switch to long wave. And loop this just so we can see kind of what the cloud's done. It tried to spin up again, but and really didn't have the juice to be able to spin up again. And let's go back to radar. Let's look at the composite radar for now. A little bit hard to see, but you can see how massive this rainfield is. As we kind of anticipated that as it weakened, it started expanding and growing. So lots of flooding uphill. As this thing pushes eastward, we expect most of the precipitations to remain on the northerly half. But there are some signs it's weakening on more rapidly than we had anticipated. So it's kind of minimized the storm surge threat. So really right in here is going to be your East Coast storm surge threat for 2 to 5 feet. Again, slight storm surge does continue here until this icon gets on land and these winds finish changing direction. Let's go ahead and switch to radar. Give me 1 second. Um. So yeah, here's an individual radar, just what one radar is seeing. Let's go ahead and blow all of this up. Just kind of see multiple tilts and stuff. Nothing too crazy going on right now in the Outer Banks. Let's go ahead and turn warnings on just in case anything pops up. But as you can see right now, no tornadoes. Kind of this outer band that was responsible for producing the majority of the tornadoes has moved offshore. But we do have that remaining tornado threat for this backside here that we could see as the storm moves across and produces a few tornadoes down in southern Florida in the area that I have circled here. Um, let's go ahead and switch just to the official forecast for a minute. So yeah, official forecast. So it was a category 3 moments ago. It's continuing to weaken. It may not even make landfall as a category 3 hurricane. It may only be a category 2 by the time it makes landfall. Obviously that helps with the maximum wind gusts and those people directly in the path. Um, diminishes the effect just a little bit. Doesn't mean it's gone. Timing, this thing's a little ahead of schedule, so it's pushing on to making landfall now, in the next hour or so, and then it will push on shore, be in the middle of Florida around 2 a.m. and push off around 2 p.m. Tomorrow's, and then it will be left with this rain. But here, as you can see, kind of on the backside, there is quite a bit of precipitation on the backside, and I do expect that to continue, and we'll see some of these trailing bands develop out towards this way. Um, back to graphics. Um, just kind of the official forecast. So again, tropical storm force winds for most of Florida. Not really seeing any hurricane winds onshore yet, although I expect it to be happening very shortly if it isn't already approaching Sarasota, Gulf Gates, Osprey, Lowell, that area. Again, right here is probably where it's going to be making landfall, somewhere in this area. It could wobble just a little bit and affect the exact positioning of where this makes landfall. Let's see. Um, just to recap what went on earlier in the day. If you can see these pink and purple lines on this, um, that's where we had spin in the atmosphere and potential tornadoes. So few here. This doesn't mean there was a tornado here, just some tornado signatures. So again, it was a very destructive Wednesday across most of Florida with several tornado warnings. I peeked in on it during lunch, and it was well underway then. Let's go ahead and get these contours off. Let's loop this radar, give everyone a good view here. So you can see a nice spin. This eye is cloudy, but non-precipitation right now. So again, you can kind of see um, where the spin is actually occurring here. We are expecting this to continue to track. Sarasota, North Sarasota is again where we are expecting the landfall to occur. Oh wait, I was on the right screen. Oops. So again, right here, move off towards Sarasota. And then the azimuth for contours, again, where we had tornadoes throughout the day, could have had, this doesn't mean there was tornadoes, but again, several tornadoes were confirmed today. Saw some videos on social media about them. Um, yeah, but basically all of Florida is seeing tropical storm force winds now. The Florida Peninsula and Southern Panhandle. Expect that to continue, and hurricane force winds are just starting on the west coast of Florida. Again, anywhere from Bradenton down to Port Charlotte um, is where we are expecting to see hurricane force winds and where this thing will make landfall. Back to the graphics here. Again, peak surge. Most of this is past peak or at peak right now on the East Coast, or West Coast, excuse me. 9 to 13 feet is kind of the max we were expecting. 69 on either side of that from Ancelote River down to Sokolowski. And then 2 foot to 5 foot from Yanktown to Flamingo. And then as this storm moves off on the back side of it, we can expect to see a moderate storm surge of 3 to 5 feet from Altamar Sound down to Sebastian Inlet and south 1 to 3 feet towards Palm Beach and maybe on up into South Carolina. That 1 to 3 feet of storm surge will continue. Again, rainfall. A lot of rain has already fallen. A lot of flooding is occurring. Still expect about 6 to 7 inches of rain to continue falling across the area and give plenty of more opportunities for flooding just north of where this hurricane is making landfall. So if I switch back to radar, here's kind of the path we expect it to take across Florida. So anywhere north of this line till about this line, that's where we're expecting the heaviest band of rainfall to occur. Anywhere to from 4 to 8, 9 inches are possible in this area. And back to graphics. Again, flash flooding still has very much the potential still. Um, we're about to get a new update from the National Hurricane Center in about 10 minutes, so we'll read that once it comes out. Ooh, allergies. Um, again, tornado risk hasn't been updated on the SPC graphic. Anything else I want to show here? Arrival time, again, it's already arrived on the west coast of Florida. And we expect by 8 p.m. for that to be the time that it is on the east coast of Florida. In fact, here's a better graphic that I just found today. So again, here's kind of the impact area. See, most likely time of winds, you can see 8 p.m. and then lasting throughout basically midday on tomorrow is when we're expecting it. Go ahead and pull up and read the 7 p.m. update. Again, all times are Eastern for this since Florida's Eastern for the most part. So a sustained wind of 61 miles per hour and a gust of 77 miles per hour was reported at Egmont channel. And then 44 miles per hour and a gust of 77 was reported at Sarasota Bradenton International. Expect that to be over 100 in the next update. A sustained wind of 55 miles per hour and a gust of 71 miles per hour was recently reported at Skyway Fishing Pier. And again, the next update will be in about 8 minutes. Let's go ahead and go back to the radar loop while I see if I can't find any more information. Again, let me go ahead and turn off the shield contours. Um, no active warnings. I believe this tornado watch is going to expire here in the next hour. Um, not really expecting much down now. Um, um, lots of information pulling on over, so there's a lot of data out there right now. Um, at about 6 hours ago, the last pass was 115 knots, and 115 knots, that's gonna be about 130 miles per hour. So that was a category 4 at that time. Again, we're dealing with a category 3, maybe a category 2 right now. Waiting to see some of the latest data comes in. The Hurricane Hunter is currently inside the storm, taking aircraft measurements. Um, Peak 10-second wind, so that's the wind speed you often see reported, is at 70 knots. So if you do the math real quick, that's going to be 80 miles per hour is the peak wind they have found so far. Doesn't look like they have passed through the eye quite yet. Um, yeah, they haven't. Still haven't seen a pressure reading. Um, Go ahead and look over this graphic here. Pulling up a couple graphics so we can just kind of talk about them. Anything else that's kind of interesting? So, okay, let's go back to graphics. And here's kind of the wind speeds that have been recorded with Milton in the latest pass. The satellite's from 23:45, so 10 minutes ago, and the actual data is from about 5 minutes ago. Um, So you can kind of see the path they're taking. They're kind of having trouble finding the eye a little bit with this storm. It's not entirely obvious when you're flying a aircraft through a hurricane. A, it's not easy. B, it's hard to find. So oftentimes they'll miss it on a flight or two. But we do expect them to get in there with the one final reading, so we can kind of get a good reading of where this hurricane's at as it's making landfall any moment near Sarasota, Florida. Pressures so far it's found 954 and 955 millibars. Again, a far cry from the 900 sub 900s it was finding earlier in the week. Several winds, but again, the highest reported wind I believe was about not 80 miles per hour. So, and then we'll switch over to this graph. So lots of data here. Not much neat about it, but you can kind of see the airplane flying and what pressure and altitudes it is at. You can get temperature and dew point data, so It makes it easy to find the eye. Um, Basically, where it dips down, that's kind of the eye. 0 mile per hour, that's when it passes through the eye. Otherwise, it's complete. The temperature and dew point lines are completely even. And if you haven't heard of dew point before, it's just the coldest the air has to be completely saturated or 100% relative humidity, essentially. Um, so again, sea level. The price was around 955. Wind knots looks like the highest they found is 125 knots. Um, so if we do some quick maths on that, that would be 143. I think this is an oil past one. That's way too high for what the hurricane is doing now. Let's go ahead and switch back to radar. Zoom in here. Again, it's kind of hard to make out where the eye technically is, but right in there is kind of where the eye is, and it's moving east northeast, so really kind of anywhere in there is kind of where we're expecting landfalls. So Farmo to Longboat Key is kind of where we're expecting the landfall to occur. And again, anywhere along this path, you're going to have hurricane force winds, and a little bit outside of it too. Although the hurricane force wind field is very small with this, the tropical storm force winds will impact basically all of the Florida peninsula and a little bit of the Panhandle up here. So basically, from there south, you can expect tropical storm force winds. Back to the path. Now, wherever it makes landfall, that's still crucial, and the path it takes across the state exactly is still very crucial to where we will see the continuing highest amounts of rain. So wherever it makes landfall, draw about a 5 mile line north of that, and then about a 20 mile line north of that, and that's going to be your band of heaviest rain left in this storm. I know a lot of areas have already seen 4, 5, 6 inches of rain, but this could dump another 6 to 8 inches along that path, and then from a band outside of that, you're looking at another 3, 4, and then slowly decrementing from there. Um, yeah, so, I'm going to hang out till, this storm makes landfall. We'll continue to pull over some of the forecast data, some of the new data that's coming in. We're getting a lot of information right now. But go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, so, we can continue to help this channel grow and get more people more accurate information. Let's go ahead and switch back to the graphics here. Should be seeing a new update any moment to this. They're putting out an 8 p.m. update, so we'll get the latest recorded wins from several stations that we don't have access to publicly. All that will report straight to NWS from home weather stations and such. Let's go back to this interactive map. You can kind of see the expected forecast zone. Hurricane winds are now impacting the shore. That's the area in orange here. Um, and then 50-knot winds are this area in yellow, and then tropical storm force winds are this area in light blue. Let's clean up some of this. So yeah, that's kind of your current wind field on the storm. Again, orange is hurricane category 2. Yellow is hurricane, and then this light blue is tropical storm force winds. Getting the wind radii out, you can see the path this hurricane is expected to take. Again, expecting landfall over Sarasota, Florida, and as it moves past all the way over to Palm Bay up to Titusville, um, looks like it's probably gonna go south of Orlando for folks in Orlando. Again, that will mean you will see an increase in rainfall rates. As you can see by this graphic, again, heaviest rain we're expecting just north of Tampa Bay and Orlando. Again, anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of rain can fall. This is a couple of hours old at this point, so knock an inch or two off of that. Flash flooding potential. Again, a lot of this has already flooded today from the oil bands that were very tornadic in nature. Um, let's see. Again, winds are already affecting the East Coast. The most likely time for the West Coast is basically now on the of tropical storm force winds is now on the West Coast, and hurricane force winds will probably follow in 3-ish hours. If this hurricane can hold on long enough. Again, we're expecting a low end category 3 now for landfall as the shield kind of tore this hurricane apart structurally and made the wind field broaden. And with that, we are expecting a more rapid decrease in strength with a category 1 hurricane over the main body of Florida. And as it pushes out, only becoming a tropical storm by midday Thursday. See if they've issued an update here. Not seeing any update at this moment. Get some of these off of here. So here's the likelihood that you'll see 64 knot wind gusts, which again, by my amazing math skills and conversion skills, that's 73 miles per hour. 50 knot winds is going to be here. Again, the higher the color, the more likely it is. And for those of you who don't speak nautical, that's 57 mile per hour, and then 34 knots going to be your tropical storm force winds, which again, most of the Florida peninsula it will be seeing or is seeing right now. Go back to the storm surge maps. So here's kind of the latest thinking on the amount of storm surge areas will receive. Sebastian Inlet up to Automa Sound. I'm never going to pronounce that right without looking that one up. 3 to 5 foot storm surge possible, including St. John's River. You can see 2 to 4 foot coming up that channel as the winds kind of wrap into it. On the front side, most of these storm surges are occurring right now or are winding down even. 9 to 13 feet is kind of the max we're expecting, and that's anywhere from Anna Maria Island down to Boca Grande, Bonita Beach to Solid Harbor, 8 to 12 foot, 5 to 8 foot down to Choluteca, and then 3 to 5 foot down to Flamingo, going north from Anna Maria Island, from 9 to 13 to 69 foot, and 2 to 4 foot on up to Yanktown. Again, let's go back to radar. The latest scan on this was at 8:05, so again, actually let's go back and loop so we can try to find the center of it. Somewhere in there, it's hard to find the current rate here. But yeah, looks like it's gonna land for very close, if not in Sarasota. Um, I forget the exact definition of landfall. It may be a center, so have to see if this thing wobbles at the last minute on us. But again, Tampa, St. Petersburg, Winter Haven, Newport Richie, Spring Hill, Kissimmee. You're seeing tons of rain right now, heavy rain, very flooded, likely. So got a lot going on now. But nothing tornadic right now. It's not until this backside kind of moves on that we may see a couple of tornadoes flare up as this thing pushes on and starts to move out of Florida. So maybe a few overnight this morning into early tomorrow afternoon is when we can see the tornado threat re-ramp up. Again, right now the biggest threats for the next 12 hours are gonna be the the hurricane winds. So about what I have circled out is really your area of maximum wind, and then it will decrease as you move away from that to Category 1 and tropical storm force winds quite quickly. Again, expecting a Category 2 high in Category 2, low in Category 3 landfall at this time. See if we get any data here. Nothing there. Nothing now. Let's move back down. Checking social media to see if I see anything. Um, Latest from Hurricane Recon looks like the peak 10-second wind gust they found is 72 knots. So again, not much increase from the max they've seen so far. That's 82 miles per hour in American units, freedom units. They're still surveying the storm, so that wind can go up. Expecting to get extrapolated sea level pressure here in a little bit. Um, Here's kind of the updated flight path that they have taken. Starting to get some reports of the winds onshore. So these wind bars that you see onshore are actual observations from the ground. Can Continuing to look, see if there's anything interesting coming across the wire. Um, Nothing so far. Nothing from the hurricane hunters. um, Seeing if I see the 8 p.m. update. Latest from the National Hurricane Cell was Milton close to making landfall along the coast of west central Florida. Light threatening storm surge, damaging winds, and flooding rains occurring across portions of central and southwestern Florida. So basically, what we've already covered so far. These updates are often late from the storm agencies. Again, the eye wall is close to making landfall near Sarasota, Florida. Let's go ahead and go back to radar. um, yeah. So actually, what's going on with this hurricane is you can see this eye wall rapidly deteriorating. And what's happening is there's CO coming in from the jet stream and basically tearing apart this hurricane. And it's soon going not be a hurricane anymore, tropical storm. It will start to become extra tropical. So basically just your normal cyclone from there. But again, still a Category 3, Category 2 strength hurricane at last glance. Let's go ahead and switch to satellite. It kind of shows the deterioration a little bit better. I am Mazo 2 or Mazo 1 today. Mazo 1. Cool. So go ahead and loop this. So yeah, over the last what is this? 10 minutes, this is what the hurricane looks like. From a cloud standpoint. You can see it just now trying to make landfall near Sarasota. The satellite really shows no area, no well-defined eye anymore. Hasn't for quite some time. So again, another indication that the shield's wreaking havoc on this storm and rapidly deteriorating this. So definitely saves some of the higher end threats that were possible earlier in the week. Although we always thought that the shield could come in and basically save Florida from getting a terrible hit from a major hurricane. This is the satellite imagery, and what's cool about this is we can see lights on this. So basically seeing everywhere with lights, I believe. So that's good. So far, I do expect areas to lose electricity as this eye continues to push on shore. Again, you can't really see an eye on any of the satellites. Let's go to the composite radar. Again, much the same story. Let's just zoom out. And that's kind of what this thing looks like. This is only the lowest level of the atmosphere, so it's a little bit more reliable. So again, the eye is kind of right in here. Does that line up? Yep, it lines up. So again, eye is right in here, making landfall in Sarasota, Florida right now. Go back to the Tampa radar as long as we have it. So again, you can see you basically watching this storm fall apart in real time on this radar. Again, right here is gonna be your eye as it's approaching Sarasota, Florida. Do we have a new update? No, nothing yet. Again, continuing to check data. But yeah, here's the latest radar image. So Florida, I'll reiterate what I said earlier about flooding. Here's kind of the projected track of it. Anywhere north of this for about 20-30 miles. That's going to be your area of heaviest rainfall expected. Expecting anywhere from 6, 8, maybe up to 10 inches of rainfall to fall on top of what's already fallen. So definitely flooding in those areas is very likely. Around that, you're still expecting to see another 2 to 4 inches of rain, and then of course as you move away from that, decreased. Haven't seen any reports of storm surge right now. I'm sure there has been. I'm just not finding it right now. Breaking news, there was very strong winds in Sarasota, Florida. I would have never have thought that. Um, nothing. Again, if you're in Florida right now, you need to be exercising your hurricane precautions. Definitely not on the lowest level if you're susceptible to storm surge. Um, don't be out driving. A, because of the wind. B, because the roads are flooded and you won't get anywhere. Um, Again, fill up a bathtub with warm water just to ensure you have drinking water. Yeah, strong winds. Would have never expected that out of a hurricane. Let's see if there's any more info from the hurricane hunters. Okay, so they're kind of moving out of the storm right now. Okay, so the data from the hurricane hunters is decreasing. So the maximum wind that they found is 110 knots. So I haven't seen this graph before and wasn't familiar with how they displayed it. So that was 125 miles per hour. So still a Category 3 hurricane. Forget the exact wind speeds. Um, so yeah, Category 3 hurricane is 111 to 129 miles per hour winds. So it looks like this thing is making landfall as a Category 3 hurricane. I'll update this so y'all can see what I'm talking about here. This comes from Tropical Tidbits. Um, Basically, this is the live flight data from the Air Force plane that flies through the hurricanes. Red lines is kind of the lowest pressure, so we're seeing 955 millibars of pressure at the lowest. Flight level winds, that's over here. Looks like anywhere between 110 and 125 was the maximum wind speed that they found. Um, Anything else interesting? So this blue is kind of estimated service winds. So 105, that's after it's mixed down. So on the surface, that's about 120 miles per hour winds. But you can kind of see how rapidly the winds decrease on the backside of this. Actually, how did they fly? Do we have timestamps on this? We do not. Okay, never mind. This isn't necessarily the backside. This is just a timestamp of where they flew. Rain rate. So you can see rain rate of 30 millimeters per hour, and I know nobody here knows that conversion to inches. So 30 millimeters is about an inch. So about an inch to maybe an inch and a half of rainfall per hour is kind of the expected rate that we'll see the wind rain come down, but it kind of tapers out quite significantly once you move out of the eye. Um, yeah. See if they've updated this text yet. 7 p.m. Not seeing any updates, but latest update was 8 p.m. Okay, so they have updated this graphic. Let's go here. So again, making landfall as we speak now, Sarasota, Florida. Rainfall is again 8 to 10 inches is kind of the expected rainfall for the rest of the hurricane, just north of this eye of the hurricane. Oh man, let's go back to radar. And I just got into the mic. Sorry for everyone's ears. So again, very broad area, kind of hard to see exactly where the eye is just from this graph, but it's right here. That's your eye. So Sarasota, Florida, North Sarasota is gonna be where this thing's making landfall. You can see all the precipitation on the north side of it. That's where the heaviest flooding will be. So as this thing pushes off towards the east, somewhere like that, that's kind of gonna be the area of the eye movement, and then to the north of it's gonna be where the highest rainfall will be, somewhere along that line. So obviously the wind speed will stay hurricane force till it will be category 1 about here, and then by the time it pushes off it will only be tropical storm force winds. So again, expecting a rapid decrease in the storm's intensity. This thing's looking more and more disorganized by the 10-minute increvors. Yeah, that's what increments. I combine increments and intervals. Um, So hopefully it continues weakening a little faster than they were anticipating. So the hurricane force winds won't be expected quite as long, and that will also bring down the storm surge for those of y'all on the east coast of Florida. Again, 2 to 3 feet storm surge around now from Palm Bay up to Daytona Beach is kind of where we're expecting the backside storm surge of about 3 feet to occur. Um, Again, it's making landfall. Hurricane hunters basically estimate this to be a Category 3 hurricane at the surface, as this was making landfall wind speeds of about 125 miles per hour. So, Category 3, have to wait to see if that's officially official, but wouldn't be surprised if it's somewhere around there. See if I see any readings coming in. Nothing there. Um, this view kind of makes it a little easier to see where the eye is. Not a lot. Um, let's go ahead and loop this. So yeah, the eye's about right now. Again, pushing on. So blues are winds moving towards the radar. Reds are winds moving away from the radar. Um, so it's kind of making a position that it's kind of ugly to see the exact direction of. But yeah. There was over 130 tornadoes in Florida today. Let's see. That number seems awfully high. Maybe they are counting each report or each touchdown, but let's see. Storm reports. Um, so far, here's what the Storm Prediction Center has for tornadoes. Um, and that doesn't look to be 130, maybe more like 20, 25. Oh, 26. So 26 reported tornadoes to the Storm Prediction Center. Some may definitely be lagging coming in. Um, here's I just want to zoom in on the map, not scroll move to optics. Here's kind of where the tornadoes were reported today. This is unfiltered, unverified. Warnings, probably more likely. But yeah, of course, all of these are unrated now because you aren't going to go out and rate during a hurricane, and you probably won't get a good rating afterwards either. Again, see if we got new text language for this hurricane. Don't see it. Back to the radar here. Again, this is making landfall in Sarasota, Florida. The eye is hard to see. It's very disorganized as a storm, but here's where about the eye is. Sarasota, North Sarasota, that's your landfall. Wind speeds of about 125 miles per hour near the surface. Um, 31 seconds ago, storm spotter reported 53 mile per hour and gusting to 100 mile per hour winds. Um, Seeing if I see any other reports that confirm that. Saying 90 mile per hour winds, so yeah, I was saying 125 mile per hour winds now, probably. Again, this thing's going to weaken pretty quickly as it moves across the body of Florida. By overnight hours tonight, it's forecasted to be a Category 1 hurricane, and then by the time it pushes on shore, it will have decreased to a tropical storm. About an hour ago, there was an 89 mile per hour wind gust in St. Petersburg at the airport, though. Kind of old news at this point, though. See if I see any updated information over here. Looks like they're currently doing another pass of the hurricane. They're currently at 95 knots, so about 100-ish miles per hour wind gusts. Um, Not seeing any updated stats officially published. But again, this thing's moving into a hyosphere environment. Is in a hyosphere environment, so this thing's continuing to get sheared apart. The shear is kind of moving that way, and basically it just means the hurricane can't have as clean of a shot with it. Doing some administrative work. So again, we do have a landfall on this as expected. It's a category 3. kind of a middle of the road category 3. So definitely a major hurricane has officially hit Florida. But we've already known that from the effects that we've seen earlier today. Several tornadoes, several confirmed tornadoes. Probably several unconfirmed, and that will never be confirmed. Heavy rain continues again. Northern Florida Peninsula, that's the area that we expect the highest amount of rain to occur. Um, Zoom back in here. Just kind of to get some ideas on where exactly this is making landfall at. Um, so I is about right here. That's gonna be your area maximum wind. So again, Sarasota, North Sarasota, some of these burial islands out here. On up to Whitfield. Here's the airport near Sarasota right here. That's likely gonna be directly in the path of the hurricane, so should see some readings from that as long as that stays online. Um, Zoom back out while I check for more data. Oh, it'll help if I click the right buttons. um, The National Weather Service office in Tampa Bay has just issued a flash flood warning, including Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater. Definitely a lot of rain going on now. Seeing a 10-foot storm surge about an hour ago in Sarasota. Um, Probably about its peak now. May have seen a couple of 12-foot surges a little bit south of now. Not seeing any new data coming in. Nothing now. Seeing if we got any new data coming in that changes what we've previously thought. Again, winds appear to be starting to weaken a little bit with this. Let's go ahead and pull back up velocity presentation. And again, 100 mile per hour wind, 125 mile per hour were the subs estimated winds. Again, right, and here's gonna be where the eye is. So that's kind of the broad circulation on the storm. Um, so you're probably seeing the maximum winds from this right now. You may even be in the calm, the eye of the storm here. Um, Moving off towards Bard Hill and Winter Haven, you'll be in the path of the eye about on towards Rockledge and Titusville. Kind of the path we expect the eye to take now that this hurricane has made landfall. Let's go ahead and move over to the graphics. Clear up some of this. Again, most of the Florida Peninsula is seeing tropical storm force winds. Come on. There we go. So again, it's made landfall as a major hurricane at Sarasota. predicted to move over just south of Lakelands where the eye is, and then pass off the shore of the east coast between Melbourne and Titusville. Again, expecting this to continue weakening quite rapidly. From probably a category 2 here in the next couple of hours, and then a category 1 for most of tomorrow, and then a tropical storm force winds as it does make that push off the coast of Florida. Again, here's kind of the expected rainfall, which is the area just north of the eye. So Tampa, you're kind of in the area that's getting the maximum amount of rain right now. Hence the flash flood warning y'all are in for the next 3 hours. Expecting a lot of flooding, localized flooding going on, as well as when this pushes off towards Orlando and areas to the north of Orlando. So zooming in on that. If I can get my zoom right. So basically, here's kind of the area we are going to expect the highest flooding to continue on. So Somerville, Leebugs, the villages, Zellwood, Claremont, Monte Springs, Sanford, Deltona, Geneva, Scottsmore, Edgewater. Expect anywhere from 6 to 10 more inches of rainfall as this storm continues. I know many areas here got pounded earlier today with maybe a few tornadoes, definitely flooding from those, and then of course seeing heavy rain from this hurricane now. But again, that eye is going to track to the south, and that will cause the highest area of precipitation here, and of course the flooding that follows it to be north in that area. Meanwhile, south of the track, we're going to be watching kind of these outer bands here for possible spin up tornadoes and damaging tornadoes as they move through. So anywhere in the South Peninsula of Florida, so Palm Bay, Bradenton South, that's going to be the area where we will see a little bit more rain and the possibility of a tornado or two. Again, you can kind of see an outer band starting to form here. Let's go ahead and put this into a loop though. So again, most of the northern half of the peninsula is showing that significant rainfall event occurring from this hurricane. Um, heavy rain between St. Petersburg and Tampa right now. That's probably 2 inches per hour ish, maybe 2.5. I know the hurricane hunters only found an inch and a half, but these returns are looking more like 2.5 inches. See if there's any updated data that would be nice to report to y'all. Again, maximum winds are 110 knots is the latest the hurricane hunters have found, which that's gonna be about that's gonna be about 125 miles per hour. Moving off, just sea surface temperatures don't matter now. I'll close out that tab so I don't go back to it. Again, here's kind of the rainfall. Flash flooding. Storm surge again. Storm surge is just about over on the peninsula or the west coast here. Except down south you'll still see some storm surge coming in, but the wind field is about to shift down now. So probably seeing your peak storm surge here in the next hour or so down on Sandusky, Flamingo, Bonita Beach, probably about the peak of it. And then when this storm moves off from Sebastian Inlet all the way up to Ottumwa Sound, that's going to be where you can see your 3 to 5 foot on the backside of the storm as it's moving across, as it will be a tropical storm most likely at that point. Back to the radar here. Again, starting to see the eye reform. Looks like it's kind of reforming to the north of where the initial circulation was. Um, let's see. Does velocity confirm that? So this wind's moving away, away. Yeah, so I'll loop this. Can I get your better view of this? Hold on. Yeah, there we go. So that's kind of the view of velocity data. These values are kind of muddied because of how heavy the precipitation is. Thus, it kind of cuts down on the return of the radar from being highly accurate. But you're seeing 90-mile-per-hour winds close to the radar site. I think we got confirmed at 100 so far. Let's see if that has changed. Flip back to just the radar view here. Yeah, okay. Um, Major Hurricane Milton makes landfall near Siesta Key, just south of Sarasota, Florida. This was at 8:30. A sustained wind of 78 miles per hour and a gust of 97 miles per hour was located near Venice. A sustained wind of 77 miles per hour and a gust of 100 was reported near Egmont. 67 mile per hour winds with a gust up to 83 was reported near Skyway Fishing Pier. A sustained wind of 40 miles per hour and a gust of 73 miles per hour was reported at the Sarasota Bradenton International Airport. Next update for this from the National Hurricane Center will be in about 15 minutes. So again, so far the highest reported wind speed is 78 mile per hour, but a gust of 100 miles has been reported. So again, the hurricane hunters still do expect 125 mile per hour wind gusts to be at the surface. See if I see anything else being reported. Um, so again, watching Tampa and St. Petersburg for significant flooding ongoing and 2 to 2.5 inches of rainfall falling there right now. Um, let's see. Again, we do have confirmed landfall near Siesta Key just about 15 minutes ago. Waiting on the next update from the National Hurricane Center here in about 15 minutes just to see if we get any more wind reports with that one. Um, Scrolling through social media, trying to vet some of this. Looks like peak of wind at 120 miles per hour. So as this storm does continue to weaken due to the high chill environment, um, yeah, Tampa Bay obviously has seen a receding water due to the storm surge just south of Sarasota. Um, some nice videos of that online. Um, Somebody reported a price of 960. Again, wins at 120. Um, Again, see, kind of hard to point out the circulation, but somewhere in here looks to be where the winds are starting to change directions, and that's gonna be where your eye will be, and then we're expecting a track sort of like that in the areas north of it, we'll see the highest areas of rainfall. Again, 8 to 10, maybe 11 inches in some isolated locations of additional rainfall. That's going to cause very significant flooding to occur. And then south of here, that's going to be where your tornado threat will be increasing. Not going to be something like we saw today, but in like the outer bands that kind of wrap around, we may see a couple of spin up type tornadoes, maybe a couple of bigger tornadoes, but again, nothing like we saw earlier today. If you're just tuning in, make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps the channel grow. So plan for me for the rest of the night is we're gonna wait till the 9 p.m. update, see what's going on there, see if there's anything crazy. Then we'll run down the threats again, and then go from there. Probably hop off. I still need to get dinner. Probably gonna be looking at a hamburger maybe, but that's to be determined. I think Arby's still has their hamburgers. But yeah, again, you can see kind of the rain starting to wrap around the eye here. um, Again, very heavy, very intense, 2 inch per hour rainfall occurring near St. Petersburg and Tampa. Likely incredible amounts of flooding going on. Oh, so again, right in that area. Expect this rain to start wrapping around a little bit more. But again, not as concerned with flooding south of the track. May see a little bit more flooding, but like 2 to 4 more inches of rain. So definitely enough to cause problems. But the main event's gonna be kind of in that little band where we'll see the additional rainfall, and then of course tapering off from there. Again, storm surge is pretty much winding down. May have a couple of feet more storm surge to go down this way, but the winds are starting to kind of oppose the direction of the ocean. So, good news is that threat's winding down on the west coast of Florida. On the east coast of Florida, you're probably starting to see some storm surge now, as this storm is starting to get some wind pulling off. Nothing too crazy in terms of storm surge right now. Probably over the next couple of hours is when it will start to increase. Again, expecting 3 to 5 feet of storm surge around here. With 1 to 3 feet possible in Outer Banks and up into the Georgia coast near Savannah. If there's any threat that y'all want me to cover that I haven't talked about or you haven't heard, drop a chat, let me know, and I'll be sure to cover it. Again, I'm expecting a hurricane update from the National Hurricane Center in about 10 minutes. Again, the hurricane made landfall about 20 minutes ago near Siesta, Florida, Sarasota, Florida. That's where we got the 120-mile-per-hour reports. It's the highest I've saw so far. That's still a Category 3 hurricane. We do expect this to continue weakening to a Category 2, Category 1 hurricane as it moves through the state of Florida over the next 12, 18 hours. Um, this is a fast mover. It's not going to sit there, but still enough to cause heavy, severe flooding. Of course, the wind threat significant. Expecting power loss at some point. Um, let's go ahead and switch to the satellite view. Mazo 1. See if we can't see any power outages. Not really. Go back to long wave satellite view. Again, nothing too impressive on satellite view now. It's very disorganized because of that seal that's kind of tore apart. Sit here and watch this for a couple of cycles. You can kind of see the clouds kind of blooming as it's making landfall. Kind of interesting to see a little phenomenon there. Again, the eye is somewhere around here. Um, as we go back to the composite radar, this is a low scan of the radar's composite. So you can see very heavy rainfall right there between St. Petersburg and Tampa. Starting to see that eye a little bit more clearly here. You can see it going basically over Wamama, we Muma, Great Old Sun Sound. Yeah, that's a better, easier name to say. I probably just butchered that last one. We expect it to head up towards the lakeland, Kissimmee, and off towards the Rockledge and Port St. John, Florida is kind of the path we are going to expect this eye to take. So let me just draw a line somewhere in there. Again, to the north of this line, that's going to be your 4, 6, 8, 10 inches of rain. Anywhere else, like here, maybe 4 inches and then 2 inches as it tails off here. But again, that area to the south of the eye is going to be where we're going to be watching for a hurricane, not a hurricane, but a tornado or two to develop and these outer bands as they push on to um, over the state of Florida. So this is kind of the estimated precipitation rate. You can see some threes, some fours if you look real closely. So 2 to 3 inches of rain per hour is what's currently falling over St. Petersburg and Tampa. So definitely a high flash flooding threat there. Um, see, is there anything else on the composite that would be handy? As mutual seal, just the atmosphere's ability to spin. You may notice these outer bands, that's kind of what moved through today. Um, got some small areas to spin, but nothing too crazy. Nothing that would be significant at this time. And then, of course, the eye. The eye, by definition, almost is an area of seal. So, there's your eye right now. Again, eye right there. Kind of expecting it to move off that way. Go back to the single radar. Tampa. Um, Sit here for a couple seconds as I dig for any new information that may have came up since I've been talking for the last little bit. Um, Again, Category 3 hurricane, 120 mile per hour at landfall. Wind, sustained winds. Do expect that to drop off to Category 2 and Category 1 here very quickly within the next 6 hours. And then a tropical storm after that. Again, this made landfall near Siesta Key, which is in Sarasota County, Florida. Seeing reports of multiple fatalities from the tornadoes in St. Lucie County, um, by some others as well. Um, just seeing a lot of cool images on social media. Again, don't have permission to show them here, so that's why I am not showing them. Um, Again, if you have any questions about this storm, drop them in chat and I'll answer them. Kind of waiting for the 9 o'clock National Hurricane Center update just to get some more wind reports in, see if anything crazy is going on. But again, this is the start of it weakening quite significantly from a Category 3 to a Category 2 in the next 3 to 4 hours, and then a Category 1 in the next 6 to 8 hours. And then, of course, the center of the eye will push off about midday tomorrow with some tropical storm force winds on the back end, as well as that continued flooding threat from the rainfall bands. Um, from Naples, the storm surge value was 4.25, 4 feet and a quarter, about 15 minutes ago. Um, like I said, Tampa Bay got the water moved out of it and relocated to south of Sarasota as this hurricane was making landfall. And that likely resulted in at least a 10 to 12 foot storm surge for those and around Sarasota into the south. Osprey. Haven't seen any confirmed reports besides one of the 10 foot storm surge. Let's go ahead and loop this again. So again, the eye is somewhere in here, kind of very disorganized due to the shield ongoing, and what's that's going to be causing the continuing weakening of this storm. But again, flooding is definitely possible, and major flooding is possible in this area that I've circled. And then minor moderate flooding in that next circle, and then slight flooding here and down here wherever you get storms. Tornado threat will be possible overnight into tomorrow down here. Expecting weaker tornadoes than we had today, as we are on the backside of the hurricane and with weaker outer bands of the hurricane. Just for fun, here's the lightning. No lightning in the hurricane itself. Any discussions going on? Nope. Watches? Nope. Statements? Nope. Um, I'll turn on the flash flood warnings and oh look, basically the northern half of the Florida Peninsula is under some sort of flash flood warning, and those will likely continue on throughout most of tomorrow, maybe some of early Friday morning, talking about 1 a.m. to a.m. hours. Let's see if we get new data. Yep, we have new data. So let's go over to graphics. So a sustained wind of 64 mile per hour and a 93 mile per hour wind gust was recently reported at the Albert Whitted Airport in St. Petersburg. A sustained wind of 78 miles per hour and a gust of 100 near Egmont Channel. A sustained wind of 73 miles per hour and a gust of 102 miles per hour was reported at a station at Skyway Fishing Pier, and a gust of 60 mile per hour was recently reported at the Orlando Executive Airport. Again, they're issuing these reports every hour. The next one of these reports will be at 10 o'clock tonight on the East Coast. New graphics aren't going to show a whole lot that we don't already know. Moving here, we move some of this clutter, and here's kind of the path that the hurricane is forecasted to take. It made landfall pretty much on target around Sarasota, and then we expect the eye to pass around Lakeland as a Category 1. It moved between Melbourne and Titusville off the coast as a tropical storm. Check social media for anything I need to be on the lookout for. As we have, this thing's been on land for about 30 minutes now, not 30 miles. I'm not seeing any new data really coming in right now. So searching a couple more things and then start wrapping up and be out of here. Major hurricane continues over the next 3-4 hours, and then we do expect it to weaken back into that Category 2, and then onto a Category 1, and then a tropical storm by tomorrow afternoon. I should be moving through Florida fairly quickly. Again, damaging winds around the eye, about 10-20 miles out. Tampa Bay, Orlando, north to Daytona Beach and Gainesville, expect anywhere from 6 to 10 inches of rain. And then the southern half of the Florida Peninsula, be on the lookout for the potential for a couple tornadoes. So yeah, sit here, look at the radar a couple minutes as I start wrapping up here. Again, Sarasota, Florida basically was the place this thing made landfall. As it pushes out, here's kind of the path we expect it to take. Areas to the north, that's going to be your areas of flooding, 6 to 10 inches kind of in this area, 4 to 8 just north of it, kind of here, and along the southern edge of this, very slight civil, and then 2 to 4 inches elsewhere in Florida peninsula area. Um, Strong damaging winds, of course, tropical storm force winds for the most part. Hurricane force winds can probably be seen somewhere in that area, is kind of where I'm expecting the majority of the winds to occur, maybe a little bit somewhere like that. And then outside of that, that's going to be where your tropical storm force winds will be, so definitely something more like that, a little bit broader. I'm terrible at drawing on this thing. Yeah, 2 to 3 foot storm surge expected around here, and then 1 to 2 foot storm surge in the Carolina, in Georgia, and down towards Miami, specifically Port St. Lucie. So yeah, thank y'all for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, helps the channel grow. If I'm bored later, I may hop back on, but if not, stay safe. If you're in the path of this hurricane, um, definitely make sure you have that water, perishable foods. Don't be surprised if you lose electricity with these violent winds. Um, Not as bad as it could have been, but it's still going to be pretty bad with a major hurricane making landfall and causing flooding damage storm surge and all of that. Again, storm surge is mostly over with on the west coast, but on the east coast we could see some storm surge start coming in the next couple of hours. Again, thank y'all for watching. 125 mph Category 3 Landfall. This thing's going to continue out through most of the day. Maybe back in a couple of hours, we'll see how I'm feeling, seeing how everything's looking, and seeing if there's any data to report. So yeah, thank y'all. Stay safe, and catch on the next time. And we'll try to be putting out more regular weather update videos. Although I think we're starting to enter a calm period and start preparing for winter. After this hurricane moves through. So yeah, see y'all.